21 years old, alone in the Amazon. His feet are rotting. His skin is alive with parasites. He hasn't eaten a real meal in weeks. All around him, endless green. Every direction he turns, more jungle. In a few days, he'll start talking to someone who doesn't even exist. Somewhere out there, one friend is searching for him. The other two may already be dead. This isn't a movie script. This really happened. His name is Yossi Ghinsberg, and this is how he ended up here. A few weeks earlier, 1981, La Paz, Bolivia. Yossi is a young Israeli backpacker, fresh out of the army. He isn't chasing hostels and parties. He wants a story, something nobody back home has done. In the chaos of La Paz, he meets him, Karl Rupprechter, an Austrian in his 30s. Tall, confident, the kind of man who talks like he survived everything. Karl says he knows a secret world deep in the Bolivian Amazon, an uncontacted tribe, rivers streaked with gold, places almost no outsider has seen. He has maps. He has experience. He just needs a few brave souls to join him. There's just one problem. Almost everything Karl is promising might be a lie. Yossi is hooked. He brings two traveler friends. Kevin Gale, an American photographer used to the outdoors. Marcus Stam, a quiet Swiss schoolteacher, less tough but eager for men. One charismatic guide. A jungle that doesn't care who they are. They throw together cheap food, hammocks, a rifle, machetes, almost no medical gear, no GPS, no real rescue plan. And they walk straight off the map. They leave the mountains and drop into heat. Trails vanish into mud. Trees close in. Rain becomes background noise. Everything is wet. Clothes, skin, feet. Mosquitoes swarm in clouds. Sandflies chew their legs raw. Marcus suffers first. His feet blister, then rot. Every step is agony. Kevin watches Karl. The experienced guide hesitates. The map doesn't always match the land. The tribe never appears. The golden rivers are just rivers. For the first time, Kevin wonders, does Karl even know where he's going? Food runs low. Arguments flare. The dream of adventure turns into a slow, miserable slog. Then they reach a wilder stretch of the Tucci River. Ahead lies weeks of brutal jungle on foot, or a faster, far more dangerous option. Karl suggests they build a raft. If it works, they could reach civilization in days. If it doesn't, the river will decide. They lash logs with vines. A rough, clumsy platform. No real steering. They push off. The river grabs them immediately. At first, it feels like progress. They glide past jungle walls, dodging rocks, feeling the current pull them towards safety. Then the roar starts. The river narrows, speeds up, turns white. They slam into boulders, nearly flip. Water pounds over the raft. Arguments explode over who should steer, and whether Karl has led them into a trap. On a calmer bank, they face a choice. Marcus's feet are destroyed. He can't handle another second on the raft. Karl says he can guide Marcus back on foot to the last village they passed. Yossi and Kevin choose the opposite. They trust the river. They'll build a smaller raft, ride downstream toward a town called Renneback. They split food and matches, shake hands, promise they'll meet again in a few days and laugh about how insane this trip was. It feels like a temporary goodbye. It isn't. They never see Karl or Marcus again. Yossi and Kevin push their light raft into the current. Again, the river speeds up. The sound ahead deepens into a thunder. White water. They try to angle away from the worst of it. They can't. The raft smashes into a rock and shatters. In an instant, both men are in the water. The river turns them into rag dolls. They're thrown against hidden stones, sucked under, spat out. They can't see each other. They can barely breathe. Somehow, Yossi slams into a bank. He claws his way out, coughing, half blind. He has a small bag, some bread, a lighter, a mosquito net, no backpack, no rifle, no Kevin. He screams Kevin's name into the trees until his voice is ruined. No answer. As the light fades, one truth hits him. No one on earth knows where he is. He decides to wait by the river. If Kevin is alive, this is the best place to find each other. If a boat comes, this is where we'll be. He builds a tiny camp, dries what he can, guards his lighter like gold. That night, the sky opens. Rain comes hard, then harder. The river rises quietly at first, too quietly. Hours later, it explodes. A flash flood rips through his camp. Water tears away his fire, his few remaining supplies, almost everything he has left. When the river finally drops, Yossi is standing on bare, soaked ground. No fire, almost no food, no dry clothes. Now it's hard mode survival. Every day shrinks to 3 questions: water, food, shelter. Water is everywhere, but not all of it safe. He drinks from moving streams and hopes. Food becomes obsession. He eats wild fruit he recognizes. Palm hearts hacked from trees. Bird eggs stolen from nests. Fat white larvae squeezed from rotten wood. Imagine being so hungry you look at a squirming worm and think, protein. His body shrinks. His mind dulls. His feet, always wet, break down. Skin peels. Fungal infections take hold. A lump appears on his forehead. It moves. There's something alive under his skin. He digs his nails in, squeezes through the pain until a white, writhing botfly larva pops out. He flicks it away and keeps walking. At night, something big moves just beyond the firelight. He lifts his flashlight. 2 glowing eyes. A jaguar. He screams, waves burning branches, makes himself huge. The cat studies him for a few eternal seconds, then melts back into the dark. He survives the night. But the nights are getting longer. After days of fear, hunger, and pain, reality starts to slip. He hears things, sees things, and then she appears. A young woman, walking beside him. He calls her Kelly. He talks to her, shares food with her, builds imaginary fires to keep her warm. On some level, he knows she isn't real. On another, she's the only reason to stand up in the morning. Caring for someone who does exist is what keeps him alive. While Yossi is disappearing into the jungle, Kevin has his own battle. Thrown from the same raft, Kevin made it to the opposite bank. Local indigenous people spot him. They take him by canoe to Rarenabak. He reports 3 men missing, Yossi, Carl, and Marcus. He doesn't go home. He spends his remaining money hiring boats to search the Tucci. Day after day, Kevin and local boat men comb the river, calling Yossi's name into a wall of green. They miss him by kilometers, maybe by meters. The jungle knows how to hide what it wants to keep. Around day 19 or 20, Yossi is finished. He's a skeleton in rags, covered in sores and bites. His feet barely work. He lies near a broad bend in the river, drinks without thinking, eats almost nothing. He decides he will die here. He stops fighting the thought. Then one morning, something new cuts through the insects and water. A low, distant hum. An engine. Is it another hallucination, or the first real sound of hope in weeks? He drags himself to the open bank, raises his arms, waves barely. In a wooden boat. Kevin is on what he believes will be the last day of the search. They're exhausted, about to give up. Then he sees it. A thin figure on a sandbank, barely human. As the boat gets closer, Kevin realizes who it is. Yossi. They pull in. Yossi tries to stand. His legs fold. Kevin catches him before he hits the water. After 3 weeks alone in the Amazon, Yossi Ghinsberg is finally leaving the jungle. Doctors treat him for starvation, infections, parasites. He survives. Kevin survives. Carl and Marcus are never found. Yossi later writes a story in a book called Jungle. It becomes a film. He becomes a speaker and adventurer, and even returns to the Amazon, this time with respect and preparation. His story shows how thin the line is between adventure and disaster, and how far a human being can go when the only other option is death. What do you think really happened to Carl and Marcus out there in that jungle? Tell me in the comments. If this true survival story of Yossi Ghinsberg gripped you, hit like. It helps more people find real stories like this. And if you want more true survival tales from jungles, oceans, mountains, and frozen wastelands, make sure you subscribe. Because next, we're going somewhere even colder, where a man is forced to survive alone in the Arctic